There's a moment in every person's life where they realize something uncomfortable. Most of the pain they have experienced never actually happened. It lived in their imagination. It lived in that what ifs. It lived in the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being enough. And if episode 1 and 2 opened your eyes to the suffering mind, episode 3 is where we break the cycle. Now this is JengaPod episode 3 of the Suffering Mind series. And in this episode, we're talking about how to stop suffering in your imagination and start living in your reality. Now part 1. Let's look at part 1, the Kobe Bryant principle. Kobe Bryant once said something that changed my entire perspective on discipline. He said, I don't negotiate with myself. If he planned to wake up at 4 a.m., he woke up at 4 a.m. If he planned to train, he trained. If he planned to shoot 800 shots, he shot 800 shots. No bargaining, no mental debate, no imaginary suffering. Kobe Bryant understood something most people never learn. The mind is loudest right before you do the thing you said you would do. It whispers, you are tired, you can do it later, you are not ready, what if you fail? But Kobe did not negotiate with that voice. He acted, and action silenced the suffering. This is the first key to breaking the cycle. Stop negotiating with the part of your mind that is trying to protect you from discomfort. That part of your mind is ancient. It still thinks discomfort equals danger. But discomfort is where your life actually changes. Now part 2, let's look at the reason we stay stuck. Now let's talk about why breaking the cycle is actually so hard. Your mind is wired to avoid pain, even imaginary pain. So when you think about doing something difficult, your brain creates fear-based prediction, catastrophic scenarios, emotional forecasting, self-doubt loops, overthinking spirals. So your brain thinks it's helping you, but it's actually trapping you. You are not avoiding the task. You are avoiding the feeling your mind predicts the task will create. So that's why people procrastinate, not because they are lazy, but because their mind is suffering in advance. Now part 3, this is where we shift from imagination to action. So here's the truth. You can't think your way out of imagined suffering. You can only act your way out. And that's where the tools come in. Let's break down the most powerful ones. Tool 1. Mindfulness. Returning to reality. Mindfulness is not about sitting on a mountain humming. It's about noticing when your mind is creating suffering that reality has not confirmed. When you feel anxiety rising, ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen, not what could happen, not what your mind is predicting, just that present moment. So mindfulness brings you back to the only place where your suffering cannot lie, the now. Tool number 2, cognitive reframing, changing the story. So your mind creates stories. Reframing lets you rewrite them. So instead of saying, I'm going to fail, try, I'm learning something new. Instead of, they are judging me, try, they are probably thinking about their own life. Instead of, this will be embarrassing, try, this will help me grow. Reframing does not deny reality. It denies the imagination's power to distort it. Now, tool number 3, implementation intention, the anti-overthinking formula. This is one of the most powerful psychological tools ever studied. It's simple. Simply, if X happens, I'll do Y. So these are some examples. If I feel anxious, I'll breathe deeply for 10 seconds. Now for me as a Christian, I'll say if I feel anxious or uncomfortable, or as if I cannot really control myself, I'll simply pray. So if you're a Christian, you can simply pray as well. But for others, if you feel anxious, just breathe deeply for 10 seconds. Another example is if I start overthinking, I'll write down the first step. And the last example is if I want to quit, I'll just do 2 more minutes of that same task. So this removes negotiation. It replaces imagination with action. Tool number 4, the Kobe rule. no negotiation. Now, this is where everything changes. When you plan something, you simply do it. Not because you feel like it, not because you're motivated, but because you said you would do. Your mind will try to negotiate, it will try to protect you, it will try to keep you comfortable. But comfort is where the suffering mind grows. Action is where it dies. Tool number 5, the 2-minute rule, destroying mental resistance. If something feels overwhelming, do it for 2 minutes. Just 2. Your mind cannot catastrophize 2 minutes. It's too small to fear. And once you start, momentum takes over. Now, part 4. Let's look at some real-life scenarios. After all, we have to make this practical. So, scenario 1, the gym. Your mind, you're tired. You can go tomorrow. Reality, you can do it for 2 minutes. Scenario 2, the conversation you're avoiding. Your mind, it's going to be awkward. But the reality is, it will probably last 2 minutes and bring relief. Scenario 3, the dream you have not started. Your mind, what if I fail? Reality, you are failing by not trying. Now, part 5, let's look at the liberation moment. Here's the moment I want you to take with you. You have suffered enough in your imagination. It's time to live in your reality. Your mind is powerful, but not always accurate. You don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to obey every fear. You do not have to negotiate with every feeling. You can choose action. You can choose presence. You can choose clarity. And you can choose courage. And when you do, the suffering mind loses its power. But before you go, I want you to remember this. You are stronger than the stories your mind tells you. You are bigger than the fears you imagine. You are more capable than doubts you rehearse. Your mind is loud, but your reality is louder if you give it a chance. Now, that's the end of this series, but the beginning of your freedom. This is JengaPod, and I'm your host, Godwin. Let's get starting. Let's keep building. Let's keep rising. And if this series has been a blessing to you, you've probably have learned a few things. Please don't forget to subscribe, follow us on our podcast channels, like, comment, and share it with people that you want them to be aware of this thing as well. Thank you so much and have a good one. I'll catch you on another series. Thank you so much.